90th out of 180 countries is where the Philippines ranks in your global sustainable competitiveness report. That's pretty low on the totem pole. Put that into context for us. What are the challenges there?
I mean, when it comes to sustainability, there are challenges not just in the Philippines, but all over the world. My short answer to what the problem is, why is there not enough action, corporate action? Because you see, we have to talk about corporate action because 69 of the top 100 global economies are companies, not countries. So businesses have to take ownership. And it's not just in the Philippines, all over the world. Everybody talks about sustainability, but actual action is nowhere near the talk or the decimal.
And by your research, why is that? Is it what are the barriers that's hindering boards from translating some of these intentions into real tangible actions?
So when we asked that question to the directors that we interviewed and we surveyed across Asia Pacific, the most common answer was that I don't know. I don't have enough information. I don't have enough knowledge about the issues and the solutions. Personally, I don't agree with that. I think in today's day of connectivity, where any kind of information is available to at our fingertips, the excuse that I don't know if that's really valid, because all the information that you need is available for free. You just have to go look for it. But that is the refrain that we hear, not just in Asia, but everywhere else, that I don't know. I think the real issue is we are trying to solve a leadership problem with incentives, regulation, and money. So yeah, regulations are needed, incentives are needed, cheaper capital is needed, but above all, the companies that are really making a positive impact on the environment and society, companies that are doing well by doing good, they're not doing it because of regulation. They're not doing it because of incentives, nor of cheap capital. They're doing it because they want to, because of a different leadership intent. They see themselves as steward leaders, stewards of planet Earth and humanity, and they take it upon themselves to make money by addressing today's most existential challenges. So that's where we need to bring more awareness on, that there are ways to make money by addressing these very existential challenges that are threatening humanity today.
Well, some people, Rajeev, would say, some business leaders would say, if it reflects in cost efficiencies, then they're all for it, right? But what would really make a CEO or a leader actually change his mind and just say, you know what, I'm just going to do this for the heck of it, for the environment, for the future, without any monetary compensation? We can't, so to speak, convert people from, set ways of thinking. Is there some sort of suggestion on how to tweak this mindset?
There is this misconception that addressing environmental and social challenges actually takes away from profitability and growth. It's a huge misconception. If you look at the history of wealth creation, ultra amounts of wealth were created when entrepreneurs were able to put their finger on the biggest pain points of society at a given point of time and find profitable solutions. So whether it was electricity, whether it was transportation, whether it was anything, you name it, steel, oil, there was a big pain point in society. Entrepreneurs found a profitable solution and they make huge amounts of money. Today's biggest pain points are climate change, socioeconomic inequality, and cyber and technology vulnerability. Anybody that puts their finger on that and finds profitable solutions is going to make money, because consumers and customers are demanding that kind of product. I'll give you just one example. There's a company in Germany that is looking at how cement is made, and not only are they reducing the cement the carbon emissions from cement production by 50%, the product is going to be stronger and cheaper. So that's just one example. What we need here is innovation to build tomorrow's products cheaper, better, faster. And that requires leadership.
That's an interesting product. So your message being sustainability is profitable.
Of course, sustainability is profitable. There is a lot of innovation going on because, you see, forget about sustainability for a business. You're in business, you want to make money. How do you make money? By giving your customers and consumers products that they want, services that they want. Now, to say that, to go green, we will charge a premium to the consumer, That's not an option. That's not a good option. Consumers are already reeling under inflation. What we need is creative resilience, which means innovate, innovate, innovate to find cheaper, better, faster products that are greener, that are better for the environment, but no more expensive for the average consumer. And for that, you need innovation. You need to take a long-term view that in the long run, this is what my consumers want. And if I'm early to the market to give them what the consumer wants, our company is going to do well. We've got research now spanning 500 companies that say, if you believe in steward leadership, if you believe in kind of values that I'm talking about, these companies live for hundreds of years. These profitably grow for hundreds of years.
Okay, if certain innovations, certain technologies are there, Rajeev, and certain leaders are not adopting these, even though it means increased profitability and efficiency for those looking for just to improve their bottom line, what then would bridge the gap? And why is there even a gap? If there are things available and it works for your business goals, why are leaders not, getting there?
Plus, the majority of leaders are not forward-looking. You see, the average lifespan of a company these days is only 18 years, and then yet there are companies that live for hundreds of years, right? What in a typical business, there is today's business model, today's cash cow, which you have to execute and get the most out of it. But the most forward-looking businessmen and women, they also look at what is the business model going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and simultaneously build towards that as well. It's the ones that don't look at what's coming next. And anybody can tell that what's coming next is more havoc by climate change, more havoc because of socioeconomic inequality and cyber vulnerability. We have to start creating capacity to solve such problems so that we can be well positioned when the current cash cow dries. Right. And only 2 out of 10, if that, business leaders actually have the foresight to build both together. Right. Most of them are in the business of protecting the current business model, hoping that the new trends will go away. And that is the problem.
Yeah. Rajeev, well, we have some notes here when it comes to board focus. 72% of board directors in the study stated that financial performance is usually the primary focus when it comes to discussions inside the boardroom, and only 25% prioritize sustainability. So for companies or businesses that want to finally have those tangible, sustainable efforts, what's the first step? Where do they begin? How can they spark more discussions about this?
Well, in the boardroom, if you're talking specifically about the boardroom, because the study is about the role of the board, the one thing I always say is demand to see sustainability first strategies. Actually, most people are focused on in sustainability, box checking and regulation. So what's our net zero strategy? What are we going to do with that? Are we meeting with all the regulators' demands on that? Yes, you have to do that. But demand to see sustainability first strategies, both environmental or social. Pick 1 or 2 of the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations that are closest to your business model and build profitable strategies, profitable solutions for those. The one thing I would say is don't try to address all 17. Go for the 1 or 2 that are closest to your business model, come up with profitable solutions to those, and go for it, because it's clear. Consumers, as soon as they have a choice, they will go to a company and buy from a company that brings them more sustainable products. If there's no choice, it's a different matter. And if you are a monopoly, it's a matter of time before that's going to be broken in free markets.
Right. And then, Rajeev, finally, there's an interesting chart in your report mapping out the sustainability drivers for each country. For the Philippines, it's number 1, the regulator, and number 2, customers. I believe we have that chart, if you could just flash it. And that's interesting to me because it differs in other countries. So Philippines, it's the same as Singapore, again, driven by regulators and then customers. For the others, it's more push from society or the community. Taking a look at Vietnam, for instance, and Indonesia, regulator only comes second. Talk us through that. Where is the difference coming from? And what does that mean that customers are pushing for more, demanding more sustainability from corporations and brands?
It differs a little bit, but not a whole lot from around the world and Asia. Pressure coming from regulations is the biggest driver for companies to do something about it. But unfortunately, regulation only minimizes, it does not maximize the innovation needed, right? So a lot of the companies are actually box checking for an innovation, and saying that this is we have to do it because the regulator says so. Consumers, on the other hand, are feeling the pinch. They're feeling the pinch of inflation. In Philippines, they're feeling the pinch of Mother Nature, and are saying that we demand more sustainability action.
So apart from pressure, there is consumers. Each of us basically have some leverage, right? We all can speak up and push our brands to be more sustainable. And as you said, sustainability can be profitable. We're gonna have to leave that there for tonight. Thank you so much for your insights, for sharing your insights, and again, happy National Day, Rajeev Peshawaria, CEO of the Stewardship Asia Center in Singapore.